Hello everyone, welcome to LBS IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss history MCQs based on previous year UPSC questions. So let's start our session. Our first question is, with reference to the invaders in ancient India, which one of the following is the correct chronological order? Option A, Greeks, Shakas, Kushnas. Option B, Greeks, Kushnas, Shakas. Option C, Shakas, Greeks, Kushnas. Option D, Shakas, Kushnas, Greek. The answer to this question is option A, Greeks, Shakas and Kushnas. Greek invasion of India took place in 326 BC under Alexander the Great when he crossed the river Indus and advanced into Punjab. Greeks were followed by Shakas. The Shakas, alternatively known as Indo-Scythians, invaded northwest India in the 1st century BC onwards. Shakas ruled from 1st century BC to about 4th century AD. Shaka rule in northwestern part of India was followed by Parthians. Parthian rule was followed by Kushans, who were also known as Tocharians and Yuchis. Kushnas moved eastwards towards India, defeating Parthians and Shakas in 1st century AD. Kushans ruled India in 2 successive dynasties. Kanishka was the most famous ruler of Kushan dynasty. So her answer to this question is option A, Greeks, Shakas and Kushnas. Consider the following statements. Ishwaku rulers of southern India were antagonistic towards Buddhism. That is incorrect. The Pala rulers of eastern India were patrons of Buddhism. That is correct. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? Here, answer to this question is option B. Statement 2 only is correct. Recently, a 1.74 meter Bodhisattva figure was unearthed from Telangana. It's a life-size stucco Bodhisattva figure built during the reign of Ishwaku dynasty about 1700 years ago. Ishwaku dynasty ruled in the eastern Krishna River Valley of India during 3rd and 4th century. According to Buddhist texts, Prince Siddhartha also belonged to this dynasty. Ishwakus are also known as Andhra Ishwakus or Ishwakus of Vijaypuri to distinguish them from their legendary namesake. Ishwaku kings were Shaivites and performed Vedic rites, but Buddhism also flourished during their reign. Several Ishwaku queens and princes contributed to the construction of the Buddhist monuments at present-day Nagarjunakonda. Pala dynasty ruled from 8th to 12th century in the regions comprising Bihar and Bengal. Palas were great patrons of Mahayana Buddhism. Buddhist philosopher Haribhadra was a spiritual preceptor of Dhammapala. Pala period is also known as Golden Era in Bengali history. They built magnificent monasteries and temples. They also patronized Buddhist centers of learning like Nalanda University and Vikramshila University. Various Mahaviharas, Stupas, Chaityas, temples and forts were constructed during this period. Most of the architecture was religious, with the first 200 years dominated by Buddhist art and the last 200 years by Hindu art. So here answer to this question is option B. Who was the last ruler of Tughlaq dynasty of Delhi Sultanate? Options are Firoz Shah Tughlaq, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq Shah II, Nasruddin Muhammad, Nasrat Shah. The answer to this question is option C, Nasruddin Muhammad. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq founded Tughlaq dynasty. Nasruddin Muhammad was the last ruler of Tughlaq dynasty. The fabulous wealth of India attracted Taimur, the ruler of Samarkand. Hearing the news of arrival of Taimur, Sultan Muhammad Shah fled Delhi. During the period of Nasruddin Muhammad Tughlaq, Taimur invaded India. In 1398 AD, Turkish Taimur captured Delhi and caused the annihilation of the Tughlaq dynasty by pillaging and slaughtering people. Nasruddin Muhammad Shah managed to rule up to 1412 AD. Then the Sayyid and Lodi dynasties ruled the declining empire from Delhi till 1526 AD. So the answer to this question is option C, Nasruddin Muhammad. With whose permission did the English set up their first factory in Surat? Options are Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. Here answer to this question is option B, Jahangir. During Jahangir's reign, the British visited Machilipatnam. Captain Hawkins and Thomas Royo visited Jahangir's court. Captain Hawkins failed to secure trading rights. However, Thomas Royo got a firman for setting up an English factory at Surat. The Congress policy of prayer and petition ultimately came to an end under the guidance of options are Aurobindo Ghosh, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai and Mahatma Gandhi. The answer to this question is option B, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Founding of Indian National Congress in 1885 was aided by British under the narratives of safety value theory. As a follow-up to that, the voice of INC was weak and subdued. Early leadership of INC was mainly focused on 3 P's, that is prayer, petition and protest. Along with the 2 other Congress leaders, Lala Lajpat Rai and Bipin Chandra Pal, popularly known as Lal Bal and Pal, Tilak started the extremist phase of INC, which focused on mass mobilization of masses. Tilak gave rise to the 3-point programs for national awakening, that is, Swaraj, Swadeshi, and nationalist education based on vernacular. This helped the realization of self-pride and activism in a nation that was culturally suppressed by the British under the narrative of white man's burden. Tilak started the Swadeshi movement, which was not just about boycotting British goods, but his larger objective was promoting indigenous entrepreneurship. Gandhi called him the maker of modern India, or as British colonial authorities call him, the father of Indian unrest, testifies his legacy and contribution to Indian society and freedom struggle. So her answer to this question is option D, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. The first venture of Gandhi in all India politics was, options are non-cooperation movement, Rowlatt Satyagraha, Champaran movement and Dandi March. The answer to this question is option D, Rowlatt Satyagraha. Rowlatt Satyagraha, which was started by Gandhi in 1990 in response to British government enacting Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act of 1919, popularly known as Rowlatt Act. Gandhiji called for a countrywide campaign against Rowlatt Act. First Satyagraha movements inspired by Gandhi occurred in Champaran district of Bihar in the year 1917. Gandhiji travelled across the district to different villages, meeting farmers and taking notes of their sufferings and complaints against the forced indigo cultivation. Champaran Satyagraha was the first to be started, but the word Satyagraha was used for the first time in anti-Rowlatt Act agitation. Gandhiji, through Champaran movement, reposed faith in common masses, unlike Congress, which did not consider masses were yet ready for mass movement. Non-cooperation movement in 1920 to 22 was led by Gandhi after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. It was the beginning of the Gandhian movement against the British, which revolutionized the masses. By the repressive measure of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, the denial of justice, Gandhi observed that the only effective means to vindicate national honor and to prevent repetition of the wrongs in future is establishment of Swaraj. Dandi March, also known as the Salt March, and the Dandi Satyagraha was an act of non-violent civil disobedience led by Gandhi. The march lasted from 12th March 1930 to 6th April 1930 as a direct action campaign of tax resistance and non-violent protest against British salt monopoly. So her answer to this question is option B, Rowlatt Satyagraha. The Hunter Commission was appointed after option A, Black Hole Incident, option B, Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, option C, Uprising of 1857, option D, Partition of Bengal. The answer to this question is option B, Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. Hunter Commission of 1920 was appointed by the then Secretary of State for India, Edwin Monday. The official name of the Hunter Committee of 1920 was the Disorders Inquiry Committee and was constituted after the massacre at Jallianwala Bagh on 13th April 1990. The Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, also known as the Amritsar Massacre of 1990, took place when General Dyer of the British Army ordered his troops to open fire and keep firing into a crowd of unarmed people inside Jallianwala Bagh. So her answer to this question is option B. A separate Hunter Commission of 1882 emphasized on primary and secondary education. Who among the following organized the famous Chittagong Armory raid? Options are Lakshmi Sehgal, Surya Sen, Badukeshwar Datta and J.M. Sengupta. The answer to this question is option B, Surya Sen. Surya Sen led the Chittagong Armory attack against British government. Sen was born on 22nd March 1894 in Chittagong, present-day Bangladesh. Inspired by his teacher, Sen joined Anushilan Samiti, a revolutionary organization led by Sarath Chandra Basu. Sen formed a group of young and passionate revolutionaries. He trained and groomed youngsters on weaponry and bomb making. He hatched a plot to raid and seize arms and ammunition from the government, cut off communication from the rest of India, and to isolate Chittagong. This incident came to be known as Chittagong Armory Raid. Sen's associate in the plans were Ganesh Ghosh, Loknath Bal, Anand Singh and others. The plan was put into action on 18th April 1930. Sen along with his associate raided the police armory in Chittagong. Another group raided the armory of the auxiliary forces. The revolutionaries seized arms but failed to locate ammunition. However, they did manage to cut off telephone, telegraph and railway lines. Sen hoisted the Indian flag on the premises of the police armory and proclaimed a provisional revolutionary government. So her answer to this question is option B, Surya Sen.